What's up, y'all? Cattle Prod, back again. Get some good vibes here. Get some good vibes y'all way. I hope you're in your car headbanging. Or on a bus doing it. That'd be even cooler. Comment down below if you start bobbing your head and you were in a public place. What we got? So I heard this on YouTube. Justin. Y'all don't know Justin over at Hell's Headbangers. It's Justin. Hell's Headbangers. Got a damn YouTube and a store online to buy metal. So I heard this on like YouTube and I thought it was fun. Justin had a copy. I was filling up my cart with some shit. I was like, oh, he's got this. I've listened to this. Guts. What's the name of this fucking album? Nightmare Fuel, of course. Nightmare Fuel. Guts. Nightmare Fuel. You guys know it? It's like, it's like Party Boy metal. Party Boy extreme metal. It's cheesy as fuck, but amazing at the same time. I think it's cool because they're Finnish. I think they're from Finland, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because they got weird names that I don't know how to pronounce. Because I'm American and I don't know how to pronounce their names. Look at there. This dude's names in there. Yeah, I don't know how to say all that shit. So, cheers to this fucking band for putting this gem out. Party Boy fucking metal, basically. Whatever that says. You know, read that? No, I guess not. It's fucking badass. Got myself, like, working out. I was like, oh, let's listen to this. First spin I got that was on a physical format and not obviously YouTube with my headphones on. I actually got a boombox playing. This first spin on this started working out. I was like, hit it again, repeat. Start making some lunch, repeat. So, what are we gonna do? Oh, let's read some comments. I don't remember what video this is on, but we got Mr. Clean. Mr. Clean recommended a movie. River's Edge. Came out in 1986. Slayer had music. Slayer had music in this. I've never heard of River's Edge. Did not know Slayer was in a soundtrack with 5 songs. Mr. Clean says, when I heard Die by the Sword, I had to get the movie soundtrack to figure out what band it was, and then I started getting their stuff. So I guess Mr. Clean is telling us in 1986 he heard the movie, saw the movie's River's Edge, heard Die by the Sword by Slayer, and was like, what the fuck is that? I have to have more. That's metal as fuck. That's awesome. I like it when people share like how they got into metal, and it's kind of like, oh, my brother was into it. Yeah, I don't really care. It's like, oh, a friend at school was into it. That was how it was for me. Yeah, those are boring stories. When some dude's like, I saw this movie and was like, what is that? That's a cool story. Thank you, Mr. Clean. So anyways, I had to look up River's Edge. I went over to old Wikipedia, because that's the only place you can find anything like this, Wikipedia. I guess IMDb, but IMDb kind of sucks these days. So anyways, Slayer, yeah, we got Slayer, Die by the Sword, Captor of Sin, Evil Has No Boundaries, that's alright. Tormentor. Actually, I don't remember that song. There you go. Also had Burning Spear, Wipers, Agent Orange. I'm familiar with Agent Orange. And Fate's Warning. Very familiar with Fate's Warning. I know a lot of you guys out there in that thrash world definitely know Fate's Warning. Agent Orange, I don't remember that being thrash. I thought that was like a hard rock kind of like... I thought that was hard rock. I didn't realize they were that old. I didn't realize Agent Orange was that old. What was that, a hardcore? That's right, they were hard rock, but they were punk, hardcore punk before. That's what it was. Guts, Nightmare Fuels, fucking badass. It's like a guilty pleasure over here. I shouldn't like this, but I'm fucking loving it. So, River's Edge had Keanu Reeves in it. Is that pre-Point Break? Was that after Bill and Ted? This might even be before Bill and Ted. Excellent Adventure. I saw all those movies in theater. Did not see River's Edge. I still have got to find this movie. I got to look it up. Got to see it. It's probably on YouTube. But also Crispin Glover is in it. Crispin Glover, if you people are movie fanatics, like I'm not, but I know a lot about film. Crispin Glover, that was George McFly in Back to the Future, so that was Marty McFly's dad. I think. I'm pretty sure that's right. And then Crispin Glover, I know for a fact, was in Friday the 13th Part 4. Which was a step down for him to do that movie. His dialogue is shit in that movie, but Friday the 13th Part 4, it's not about dialogue, it's about Jason killing people. It's fucking awesome. Comment down below which favorite Friday the 13th movie, if you have one. What's your favorite horror movie? Let me know. And don't say Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because that's a given. Nightmare on Elm Street, that's fair, you can say that. No, Night of the Living Dead. Can't say Night of the Living Dead. Can't say Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Can't say Original Alien. So not those big three. And don't say They Live, because you're going to try to get underground credit by saying They Live. You can't say that one either. Come on, give me some better horror movies. 70s or 80s. 70s or 80s horror movies. Which one? It's so campy and cheesy. You have to admit it, Bob's the head. It's still tougher than like 90% of the shit you hear on the radio. No, it's still tougher than anything you hear on the radio. Even back then when they used to play like Papa Roach, Skillet, was that another one? Ugh. What's that big one now? Five Finger Death Punch. Ugh. I have to admit, Five Finger Death Punch, their like original album, their first album was like, all right, this could be promising, but it's probably gonna suck on their next album. Damn sure did. Disturbed was another one. The first one was like, all right, tolerate it. The second one's gonna suck, and it did. That's why you can't trust that shit. You can't trust that shit. You may think it's amazing. That first album would be amazing, but follow-ups tend to suck. Not like Sacrifice, a band that just kept putting out fire and was never getting credit, except in the UG. What's up, y'all? Anyways, let's keep this motherfucking show rolling. So we talk about River's Edge. That's cool. Oh, I read a comment here. I don't know who this guy is. It's a COVID tale from one of our commenters. Cheers. Appreciate it. This is a good story. I like good stories. And I like sharing them. So just before the lockdown, I got to a restaurant. This is a Camera Op 8210. Just before the lockdown, I got to a restaurant that turned into a late bar type place. So a restaurant that was mainly a bar as the night went on. I know the places, frequented those places. They're great places. We love them. When they tried to stay open during all this, all the toilet paper was stolen by panicked staff member, apparently, by a staff member. All the toilet paper was stolen. I used to work with a guy that stole toilet paper. Just on a normal day to do it. You steal toilet paper from work. He was my roommate in college and shit like that. And I'm like, God damn. The only problem is you had to watch the guy. If he ran out of his toilet paper, he's coming after yours. I'm like, bitch, I'd say you could borrow, just replace, because I had another roommate. And me and him were good at like, hey, I bought this one, you buy the next one. Just switching off. I had a lot of roommates like that. Even down in the Houston scene. You want to ask if you can stay at a friend's place? Back in the day, best way to do it, show up with toilet paper and food. Show up with toilet paper and food that you can cook later. And cook. You cook for a friend, all of a sudden you became really useful to him. That was always my secret weapon for getting the ladies. Was be a dork, be funny, be amusing, and if you can cook a meal for them and make it somewhat decent, best you can. Dude, you got it made. Especially nowadays, women know how to fucking cook, which is fine, I don't give a fuck. They say, oh, cooking's women's work. Nah, man, I don't know about that. I mean, way too many guys in the kitchen. Oh, anyways, stop talking about me. Let's talk about camera op over here. So, anyways, this story gets better. It's talking about fucking roommates. Fuck that. Anyways, all the toilet paper was stolen at this bar that you went to. The place was packed with other staff and didn't notice that the patrons had started using napkins. Let's be honest, he's talking about the women. The women are just going to do what they got to do. I'm sure a few guys probably joined in there taking that whole roll. I'll be back in about 10 minutes. Back in a half an hour, rather. Back in a half an hour, the roll napkins. Oh yeah, that dude's going to clog that bitch up fast. So, caused the toilets to block up, and toilet water was seeping into the main dining and bar area. Oh yeah. I have done housing maintenance. I have come into a lot of that before. Now, usually it's not overflowing toilets. It's usually like a jacked up line, which is not as disgusting, but it's just as terrifying. But you imagine just toilet water pouring into the bar. You're like, here you are with your Jack and Coke or whatever the hell, Scotch on the rocks, talking about politics and sports or whatever. Poo water. Just a floater going by. That'd be awesome. Probably didn't happen, but it'd be awesome. So anyway, seeped in there. And he has the most vivid memory. This is where the story is cool, y'all. This is what you're paying attention to. The most vivid memory I have is these two dudes rolling around in cheap, casual office attire. They've probably been drinking since work ended. They were in the toilet water, punching each other stupid. So, toilet water overflowing. And these two guys rolling around in toilet water, fighting. Literally just punching and fighting and rolling. How old were you when that happened? That's all I want to know. How literal... Were you a teenager? You're like, what the fuck? Or were you like an adult going, what the fuck? I don't know, if I saw that as an adult, even in my 30s or 40s now, if I saw that tomorrow, I would laugh hysterically. I'm guessing the fight broke out because one of them did it. The other one was like, bro, you dumb fuck. What? And there it began. That's a cool COVID story. We're going to need those. We all got dark, bleak, hopeless COVID stories. And for those of us who lived through 9/11, geez, living through COVID, oh my God. Yeah. Brilliant times. Thank you, Camera Op, for that wonderful story. I had to share that with everybody. And another one here, it's simply titled Talk. I don't know what I'm supposed to talk about. But we have Thomas Wilkins, 8168. What's up, Thomas? I just found your channel. I'm 22 years old. I've been listening to metal for about 5 years. It's a reasonable amount of time at your age. Guess I couldn't. This is pretty much there too. Throughout my teenage years, I felt like an outsider. Tried to fit in. Tried to fit in when I was in high school, and it never worked out. I was living a lie, and I wasn't being my true self. And to top it all off, I went through a brutal breakup of I think you mean a breakup my last year of high school. Oh, we break up with your girlfriend or significant other, Thomas. Well, I'm just going to assume it's a girl. It could be a dude, but I'm just going to assume it's a girl. It's cool if you're that way. I don't really give a shit. Do whatever you want, just don't. Anyways. Break up last year of high school. Okay, so you were young, but you had that love interest. What's called a love interest. And yeah, man, Feeling you, feeling you. I remember being in love at that age. I was 22 once and had something I was interested in, and it doesn't work out. Now, there was one chick, this blonde chick, I remember, man, her name was Sandra and shit like that. Oh my God, little skinny, little dainty little thing, real small chest. I love them little boobies. Oh my God. Oh my God. I was such a dork. Ugh. But anyways, it didn't work out. So yeah, I feel your pain, because I can just immediately remember that pain and remember that pain. So anyways, I said, fuck it, got my shit together, did my own thing, and that's exactly what I've been doing for the past 5 years now, and I couldn't be happier. Said you were living a lie. I don't know what you mean by that, but I can just assume you're like, you probably like the rest of us in the metal scene, us real motherfuckers. We're like, follow the rules, do the right thing, because it's what everybody's doing. You're not conforming just to conform. You're conforming because you're like, I want to get a payout, you know? And then you realize the payout's not fucking worth it. And you're like, well, payout's not worth it. Why am I doing the work? If you hate going to your job every day, find a new line of work. That's all I can say. But I realize sometimes you have to gut things out. And trust me, I've been on those jobs. You just have to gut them out for a couple of years. Like, just put up with it, just put up with it, just put up with it. You get somewhere else, be fine. Just always look for other things. You guys will be alright. So look at Thomas over here. He says conformity is a disease. It seeks to control and consume the human conscience. It very much can. I don't think that is the intent of conformity, and I'm not a big fan of conformity, but I do not think that's its intent. But it is definitely on a long enough timeline, definitely what happens. And it depends on your society too, what your society's all about. Ours is about fucked up law and order and like have and have-nots, and people telling other people what they can and can't do. And I'm talking about Karens. I ain't even talking about the police. I'm just talking about fucking Karens. People can't mind their own damn business. Anyways, conformity, yes, seeks to control the human conscience. We're ready. Wanted to ask you, how long have you been listening to metal, and what was your experience in life back when you were at school? Well, I just gave you a couple of examples, vague ones, but I definitely put myself in your shoes because I have been in your shoes. I started listening to metal probably about 15 or 16, and it was the darker, heavier. It was Cannibal Corpse. I didn't start with. I knew who Metallica was. I knew who Slayer was. I didn't care for it. You know, I had heard of Exodus, but I wasn't really sure about it. I did hear Butcher to Birth in like 1995. Maybe that came out earlier than that. 92. Yeah. I heard Cannibal Corpse back in 92, I guess, and I was like, oh my God, what's that now? I wouldn't say I was in the metal scene. I wouldn't say I was into it, but I was definitely like, what the fuck is this? Got the album. I got to learn more. So I read the thank you list of the bands, and I was like, find more metal. And luckily, stores started carrying more. Long story after that. I wanted to ask you, how long have you been listening to metal? So about 15, 16. 15 minus 22, 7 years. Maybe I was listening to metal a little bit longer than you, but I'm not. It's apples and oranges, dude. I'm not even going to compare that shit. So, young, teenager, high school. The solo is so cool. And what was your experience like back in school? Okay, elementary school, I was a great student. Junior high, I was a good student, but I got into a little bit of mischief, nothing too big. By the time I got to high school, I discovered metal. I discovered girls, I guess, so to speak. I read some stuff, books and literature about nonconformity, especially Emerson and Thoreau. Ralph Waldo Emerson and Henry David Thoreau and their essays on nonconformity. I read that. At the same time, I was listening to Cannibal Corpse, Butchered at Birth. And I was not a freshman in high school. I believe I was a sophomore. In junior high, I didn't really listen to metal, but I knew of it because a lot of guys I knew were into Queensryche and Metallica. I knew of them. I heard them. Slayer. Queensryche was one of the other ones I listened to. Exodus. It didn't pique me. Now in Houston, Texas, we had a local rap group called the Ghetto Boys. I was like, oh, that's rap, dude. No, fuck, man, it was our local hotness, dude. These guys were cutting that shit and putting it out there. It was fucking wonderful. And so I was actually into that until I discovered Cannibal Corpse, and I was like, fuck rap, I'm into this shit now. I also like some of the horrorcore back in the day too. So, well, I didn't realize it was gonna go this fucking long, but bear with me, Thomas Wilkins and other people. Yeah, that back in school, man, I really surrounded by normies, surrounded by more normies, or did you manage to find other metalheads? Other metalheads, a lot of them would turn out to be posers. I knew they were posers before I even knew what a poser was. I guess I didn't know what a poser was, but I was like, I'm into metal. No, you're fucking not. Who's into fucking metal? That guy's into metal. Like, really into metal. That's the guy I'm gonna talk to. And there's another guy who had Cannibal Corpse and Deicide, Obituary, Napalm Death. He had all that shit. That's who I fucking went to. I got Butcher of Earth. What do you got? You got this too? Cool. Deicide, what's this? Oh, I want to gobble all this stuff up. So, yeah, that was the only other metalhead, besides the poser metalheads that literally turned out to be posers. By the end of high school, they did not listen to that fucking shit anymore. But I don't know what happened to that one guy. I don't think he listened to it anymore either. I was like the only one who stayed with it. I dropped out of high school, so I'm just going to wrap this story up as best I can. I dropped out of high school at my second junior year or something like that. And I had the ability to get a full-time job. I was 16 years old. That was my junior year. I was 16 years old. Now, I think I skipped a grade when I was younger. I was really smart. I think I skipped a grade and shit like that, so I was like way younger than other people around me. But I was in a higher, I was in this higher grade, so I'm not smart, dude. I just read a lot, way too much. So my experience in high school was reading essays on nonconformity and listening to extreme death metal. And I already had a punk rock understanding and stuff like that. And I dropped out and got a full-time job, and I was 16 years old and was a full-time worker, got a GED like over the summer that I was supposed to graduate, got my GED, and I worked from the time I was 16 to how old am I now? So yeah, I hope that helps. If you want to build off that, Thomas, or anybody else in the comments, if you want to build off anything I just said, especially if you're younger and you're just trying to figure shit out and you don't know what to do. Advice, rigorous physical exercise, any kind of martial arts works, any kind of weight training, cardiovascular exercise. There's a young guy who runs down my street. I swear the dude's like 18, he's graduated high school, he runs up and down my street and he's looking buff as shit. Do anything like that. That'd be the first thing. Read as fucking much as you can. Read about the law, read about history. Make yourself smarter, make yourself more valuable to everyone around you. Make yourself valuable to people. Be useful to other people. That conformity won't matter after that. It's the cheat code to break through the matrix. Make yourself useful to other people. Friends, family, neighbors, community. Make yourself useful, make yourself invaluable to them. And you can do that through useful skills. Learning how to use hand tools. Guys, learn how to use hand tools. Learn how to do anything with your hands. Be in good physical shape. And definitely carry that attitude of, I will fucking go down fighting. I will go down swinging. After that, all this conformity, non-conformity shit fades away. It is a cheat code to the fucking matrix. You want to live free, you got to find it up here. Art of War by Sun Tzu. Please read that. Know that, study that. I read that. I have 2 copies. And one of the copies I've had since I was 16 years old. And I still fucking address that book all the time. That's the cheat code, young bucks. Other than that, have a good moral code to you. If you don't want to do it, if you don't like it, if you think it's awful and you think it hurts you somewhere in your soul, don't fucking do it. I don't give a fuck what you're paid or what you're offered. Stand your ground. Stand your fucking ground is what I'm saying. Have a moral backing and fucking stick with it. Nobody appreciates someone who can sell out. Nobody appreciates anybody that can just, for a raise or a promotion, just sell out everything. Don't do that. Be true to yourself. Be true to yourself, and through that, be useful to the people around you, your family, and your community, and become invaluable to them, and that will see you through it. After that, nothing else matters. Just walking. You're walking the road. Anyways, I'm Cattle Prod, Appalachian Warlord. See you next time, guys.